Hej alla, välkommen tillbaka. Tack för sist. Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you for the last time. So it seems like there is some interest out there for Vulcan, live long and prosper. I can't do that shit, but Viking culture and history. So I am going to follow up on this. And I thought I'd do a kind of a shorter video today, just kind of introducing why I have the interest I have. Obviously, I'm originally from Norway. I lived there for quite a few years. I speak the language, and I have just a deep connection to Norway. It's hard to describe. I love America. Don't get me wrong. I love America. I lived in Canada for a lot of years. That's where I graduated high school. Love it. I'm an American now, as far as I'm concerned. But at heart, I'll always be from Norway. Somebody asks me where I'm from Norway. Anyway, that's part of it. The Viking culture is Scandinavia. Norway, Iceland, Finland, Denmark, Sweden. And I know not everybody considers all of that Scandinavia. We don't need to get into that. I belong to quite a few sites on like Facebook, Instagram that are connected to Norwegian heritage, Viking heritage, that kind of stuff. And it can get very contentious. And it's quite often, some of the groups I've kind of started staying away from because everything somebody says gets nitpicked. And I will get into a couple of those things later. I am going to get into one of those things today, hopefully in a positive way. I'm a very positive guy. I have no interest in negativity. I mean, if you want to leave me a horrible comment, that's up to you. Won't bother me. I do love the positive comments. I totally dig it. Dig the vibe. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to put out there. I'm trying to be, maybe something's going bad in your day. Maybe this is a little bright spot. Some happy, goofy Norwegian. So that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm trying to build here. And it's not about really anything other than I like doing this. I like talking to people. I'm a social guy. So I'm from Norway. That's one connection. That's the main connection, let's be honest. But one of the controversial things that happens all the time on these groups is people will say, I trace my heritage back to King blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying you don't. Who am I to contradict what you say? I don't know you. You could very well be true. But my dad is a stud when it comes to genealogy. He's 82 years old. He's been working on genealogy for 5 decades. He has traced meticulously our ancestry in Norway. So he has a lot of correspondence still. My mom and him grew up in Norway. They moved to Canada when they were, full-blown adults. So he has a lot of correspondence back and forth still in Norway and gets a lot of his information that way. He's also a member of the Mormon Church. They like to be called LDS, but y'all know probably better what I'm saying if I say Mormon. And the Genealogical Society here in Utah, up in Salt Lake, I still think it's the biggest in the world. And he spent countless hours there researching. So when people say, I trace my ancestry back to, I think that's cool. What I think is really cool, and this is not, please don't take this as bragging. This is not what I'm doing. I'm no better than anybody else. Trust me. Anybody that knows me know I'm just your average Joe. But this is really cool. This is credit to my dad, not me. And I asked him permission for this. And I am going to make this up in a better form. And if you're interested, you could zoom in and kind of read it a little bit. But I will do this better. But this is really cool. So this is essentially 34 generations that my dad has traced back, starting with me in 1963. That's when I was born. My dad in 1942. His parents were born in the late 19-teens, I think around 1918. And then I think there's a generation skip here. I'm going to have to talk to Dad. I got to talk to you about this. 1879. Bert. I'm going to say these in Norwegian accents. So if you have a hard time understanding them, I'll try and pronounce them so they're understandable. I'm not going to do all of them. Bertha Kaline Knutsdotter. And Knutsdotter, if it ends with daughter, that means she was the daughter of Knutsdotter. for those of you that aren't familiar. I'm sure a lot of you know this. Then I go back to 10 generations, 1660. Kari, I'll say it English, Kari Knutsdotter. So again, the daughter of another Knut. Let's go back to 13, let's go to 13 or 1205. Erlind Arneson. Pick that one because my dad's name is Arne. So obviously the son of Arne. And that's back to, what did I say, 1205. Go back to 1040. Skofte Ugmundsen, another son. Go back to about the 31st, 32nd generation, 930 AD. That is freaking cool. Torolf Skjalg Ugmundsen. Now we'll go back to 928 AD, because this is where it gets interesting. Trygve Olavsen. So obviously the son of Olav. Here's where it gets really cool. 29, well, it's 29 on here. It's actually like 32 or 33. Olav Haraldsen, 877 AD. Now, if any of you are familiar with the Viking shows, Viking Valhalla, you'll know that name. It's a very famous name in history. But here's the coup d'etat. I don't even, I'm not French. I don't know. King Harald Hårfagre, 850. Harald the Fairhair. Now I know everybody in Norway has some sort of trace back to these people. I'm not, like I said, I'm not claiming to be anything special. What's special is that my dad took the time and the years, hundreds of hours of research, and found all of this and documented it. That's what's freaking cool. So that's kind of where I get my interest, my curiosity, and it has really peaked in the last 10, 15 years. I've really started to get interested in it. I watch all the Viking shows on TV. The one I haven't watched so far is that goofy comedy one, and Norsemen, I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna have to check that out because a lot of my friends say I'd love it. I've got a goofy sense of humor. I'm a goofy guy. So anyway, if you're interested in watching some, random Norwegian rambling on YouTube and TikTok, and you want to follow me, that'd be fantastic. Give me a thumbs up, subscription, or don't. That's cool too. You got some comments to give me, some suggestions, something that you'd like me to talk about? Hey, I'm all ears. You got some negative stuff to throw at me? That's cool too. Bounces right off me. The positive stuff sticks to me. The negative, somebody on the internet saying something bad to me isn't going to hurt my feelings. So anyway, hopefully you find this cool too. I'm going to dive into this more. It's a freaking cold day in Utah today, and I'm out in my kind of start of a man cave, which hopefully someday will be really nice. My kids have done amazing stuff here. So anyway, if that's the kind of stuff that interests you, keep following. I'm going to keep going along this thread with some other random stuff thrown in here and there. I like just, I like talking to people. Even though I can't see you, I feel like I'm talking to you. Hopefully you feel the same way. Hopefully I bring a little bit of positivity, a little bit of light into your life if something's going wrong. And if it's not, maybe just some entertainment, something to laugh at. So I will see you soon again. Tack för denna gång. Thanks for this time. Men det snackas igen snart. We'll talk again soon, and I really dig you watching. Peace. Love.